Scary old Pappy here with my darling Vivi and Duncan. There's Duncan. We're going to show you today how to convert your battery operated animatronics that are 3 AA batteries into or AAA batteries into 110. The easiest way to do it. So it's not hard, simple thing to do, and we will do it. All right, let's get started. What I'm going to be converting is this animated gargoyle candelabra. It is a wonderful prop. It has sound, says several different phrases. It has candles that are burning. Its little head goes up and down. It's a great little prop. I'm going to show you how to turn it from battery operated to 110, and you'll see the way you do it. All right, there it is, operating batteries. We're going to pull them batteries out, and we're going to make what is needed to convert them the easiest, simplest way ever. Okay, I've pulled off the back, and I'm going to pop out the batteries because we don't need the batteries in there anymore, because we're going to convert this thing to 110. There we go. And one more. All right. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to use roundel, screws, some wire, and a connector that will connect to a transformer that is exactly like the ones that are used on the animatronics that are 110. Just to start with, we're going to take a look at what size the battery is. Okay, a battery is just over 500 thousandths, which is a little over a ½ inch. Not much at all. So we're going to go to the store and we're going to get this is ½ inch wooden dowel, but it is shrunk because it's old wood, and old wood will shrink. I've cut the dowel down to just under the length of the battery body, not counting the little positive tip that hangs out of the end, because we will be using a screw in the end of that and a washer that will produce that little pointed end. Using a 1/16 inch drill, you drill a hole in the end of the dowel as a pilot hole for the screw to screw down into. Most of these dowels are going to be pine, which doesn't matter, it's fine, but you need a pilot hole so you don't accidentally split the dowel. This is speaker wire. I bought this off of Amazon. It is 22 gauge solid copper wire that is used for speakers. And as you can see on the thing, it says low voltage cable, 12 volt, blah, 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 for doing speakers. This is perfect for doing this conversion that we're going to be doing. If you notice, it is black and red, one black, one red. You'll see how that works out and how it's needed. What you're seeing before you is a transformer, a set of connectors, the dimensions on paper I drew, and these are the same size connectors. This is what you got to buy because you're going to also buy this transformer, and these are the same size that are on most of the animatronics that you see out there. Now, it's 5.5 millimeter on the outside. The outside is this part right there. On the inside, that pin is 2.1. This is very easy to find on either on eBay and or on Amazon, either one. But that's what you're going to need. You're going to need to buy a package of these. They're not very expensive, but you got to have them if you're going to do this conversion. You're going to need some number 4 washers, and you're going to need some number 3 1/2-inch long screws. I suggest Phillips. These happen to be brass because brass is easy to solder, and you're going to have to be doing some soldering. But you can use cadmium plated steel. That's okay too. What I've done here is soldered the washers to the wire on one end. On the other end, I looped the wire, stripped wire around, and soldered that as well. Makes for just easier way for it to get it into the little plug end. Let's see, right here. And if you notice, that little plug end has a positive and a negative. Put your red wire into the positive side and your black into the negative, and we will go on from there. But we have to run it through the back of the battery lid, and that is this guy right here. See what it says there? Okay. And the back of that, I've drilled a hole big enough for the wire to fit through. This will make it to where the wire can go through and come out the back, and then we will put this plug on the end of it. Now with the hole drilled through the battery cover and wire ran through the battery cover, we can now take the ends that have the washers soldered to the end of them and screw our dowels onto that. Okay, now what you see here is I've attached the wires to the dowels by using the screw. Going down into the pilot hole, everything worked fine. They're ready to be installed. Also, a little ways down, approximately 2.5 inches, I put a knot. That knot will act as a strain relief and a stop to keep the wire from being yanked through that hole that's in the battery cover, which would cause your dowels to be ajar and stop everything. So we're ready to put it into the unit and the gargoyle, and let's see what happens. This might be a little hard to see, but if you take a look at the battery, the way it's marked, you got a positive, in the middle is a negative with a spring, and another positive. If you look real closely, you can see a bar going straight across. That's not what you want to use. You want to use the one over here. That is where your positive wire is going to go. This is the other end of the gargoyle, and if you notice that in here, right in here, that's your solid piece. You've got a negative, a positive, and a negative. This negative right here, the one that isn't connected, that's where you'll put your negative dowel your wire, and that'll make the contact and make it go. You'll see. This is the way it should look. We got the positive where the positive goes. We got the negative where the negative goes. Now we're going to put the cover on and we're ready to go. Okay, the battery cover is reinstalled. The wire's coming out. The knot is doing its job. We're going to talk transformers now. AA batteries are a volt, 1.5 volts. If you multiply that by 3, you come up with 4.5 volts. So that's the charger you're going to look for. However, we're also going to look for a 5 volt. That is going to be needed for any props that have a motor in them. So this little gargoyle with his head that bobs up and down is going to need a 5 volt. Anything that is just sound and light, you can use the 4.5. The 5 volt will not hurt any of the units. I've been using these 5 volt 2 amp for a long time on all of my little battery ones that have moving jaws, or like in this case, the little head moves, and it works fine. You can find these transformers on Amazon or eBay, either one. They range from $5 to $15 depending on who you buy from and depending on how many of them that you buy. The more you buy, usually you get a better price. I've put a try me button switch in here in the off position so we can try it. It's plugged into a 5 volt 2 amp, and there's our connection, and here's our test.
Who goes there? Welcome to the haunted house. Welcome, foolish mortal.
So there you have it. Easy conversion. Doesn't cost very much to do it. You'll never have to buy a battery again. You don't have to scramble out to your front yard to change the batteries like I had to do a few times. Everything is going to be 110. And it will all work. And I've had the 2 of these guys for many years. I love this prop. And I've converted them to 110, and I've ran them for years consistently on this setup. It is the one it's a very simple setup, and I have seen others where they get real complicated, where they take the thing apart and put in a special deal. You don't have to do that. The other nice thing about this is that if you ever want to, you can go right back to the AA battery system if you want, just by opening the back, removing your dowels, and putting batteries back in. So there you have it, folks. Thanks for watching. Have a fabulous Halloween, and we'll see you in the next video.